Hi guys, welcome back to Tara Makes Up. Today I have the super beyond lovely Meg Stays in my studio with me, and we are doing a Blake Lively, kind of like a red carpet look that she usually wears. So it's a really beautiful eye, kind of minimal lip and just gorgeous glowy skin. So I hope you guys enjoyed the look. And we also did a video over on Meg's channel as well, which is kind of like the ride or die tag. So we've got that over on her channel. I'll leave the links below, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. Nice.
Are you ready, Meg? Should we do it?
Yeah, should we do it?
Should we do it? So I'm going to start on Beautiful Meg. I'm going to start with the Estee Lauder, the Double Wear Light Foundation, which, have you tried this one, Meg?
No, I've never tried any Estee Lauder foundations, actually.
I love this.
Do you like it more than Double Wear?
I think this one, because it just feels that little bit lighter, but you still get the long-lasting effect. So again, it's great for a carpet, because it's only SPF 10 as well, so it's not like crazy with flashback. And I feel like you get a good amount of coverage with it as well, but it just feels that little bit lighter on the skin.
Can you build it up?
Yeah, you definitely can build it. But it's nice, and I find it's quite a good one as well if you have kind of like in between oily or dry skin. It's not, you know, one of those
like
foundations.
I've got such combination skin, because I get some dry patches, but then I also get really shiny.
Yeah. I definitely get more shiny this time of year, but I think that's because it's hot.
All day with the light.
I know, we've literally, both of us today have literally been like
melting.
Extra deodorant. So chic. So I'm just going to take it a little bit down Meg's neck as well, just to make sure it blends, and a tiny bit onto the ear, just kind of any visible skin, just to make sure we're all nicely blended. Right, so then I'm going to use the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and this is a really good dupe, guys, for the Anastasia Beverly Hills one, and it's super affordable, and I think this comes in like between 5 and 7 shades, so
I'm gonna have to get this.
It's really, really good.
So it reminds me of the Safe and Glory Archery.
There's just more, there's just more colours to choose from, I'd say.
Are they about the same price?
I think this one's about £7.
Oh, okay. I think
so.
That one's 10.
Yeah, it's just really, really good, and it, you know, I think it's nice to be able to match the colours. So looking at Blake Lively, I would say she doesn't have like super thick brows, so I'm just gonna perfect Meg's a little bit. So I'm just gonna give her a little bit more of an arch and just keep brushing in between. And then I'm just gonna pull them out a little bit longer, just to open up the eye a little bit. So just any little gaps. And if you find like you're not kind of getting inside the gaps, you can always brush the brow the other way, fill it in, and then brush it back again.
That's a good tip.
Okay, so brows on. I've got a Sula. So on Meg's eyes, I'm going to use some cream-based products. I'm going to use a bit of Frozen Violet, which is one of these new LongWear paint pots by MAC. I don't know if it is new actually, or if it's just a shade I've not seen before, but it's beautiful. So I'm going to use a little bit of that one. Thanks, Meg. She's like my assistant. And close your eyes for me. So I'm going to keep most of this closest to the lash line. But it's nice actually, it does have a little bit more shimmering than I thought it might do. But the colour Blake often wears, she kind of goes for like her golds or sort of kind of sheeny pewtery mauves. So it's nice because it just lifts the lid slightly as well, even though it's kind of like a soft smoky eye, it still gives that nice bit of definition. So I'm just taking this all up the lid first. And I think with the kind of cream to powder products, the nice thing is that they do set, so you can layer, you can kind of keep building. And then I'm just using an IT Cosmetics brush just to kind of buff it out a little bit. So I'm just taking this over the lid and just slightly past the socket. And we're just going to buff this out with a blending brush as well. So this is kind of like your start colour for that base of the eyes. And then I'm just going to buff out with a blending brush. And I'm not really kind of winging it too much or making too much of a shape. It's just to kind of give the impression of a slightly larger eye area surface. So just slightly. Always making like a natural shadow with the colour, and then you can just build the pigment like on the actual lid. So now I'm just going in with a little bit more pigment just to the kind of surface of the lid, and it's got this lovely kind of molten sort of pewter colour. So we've got our first little bit of eye base on, and then I'm going to take the same colour just slightly on the outer third of the eye. So if you just look up for me, Meg. So I don't want to make Meg's eyes look smaller, so I'm not going to go like all the way across. I'm just going to do it more on that outer third. Almost towards halfway, but as it gets towards halfway, it's getting smaller.
Really? I didn't know that.
Well, and this is a trick that I noticed Blake does quite a lot as well. So if you close your eyes for me, Meg, so from there it can kind of join up, almost like a slight outer V shape, and just buff in between with the right brush. And look up for me. So just on the outer corner. So then I'm going to add a bit more depth to the base of the lash line. I'm going to use the Mercier. This is their Caviar Eye Stick in Smoke. So I'm just going to use a small brush, something, you can use like a liner brush or a little kind of pencil brush. So if I turn your head that way a bit for me, Meg, and you close me. So I'm just going to lift the lid slightly and just kind of smush this into the lashes.
Technical term.
I always use the technical term smush, yeah. And then with a pencil brush, just kind of blend it out so it softens along the lash line. And I'm just kind of flicking it up a little bit. Well, if you just look up for me, Meg, I'm just going to take that a little bit onto that outer corner, literally just what's left on the brush. So I'm not massively darkening the lash line, just a little bit of shadow. So you can see that just gives a nice bit of depth. It makes the lashes that little bit darker, a little bit more dramatic, but it's not as harsh as black. So I'm just going to give Meg's lashes a curl. Does that feel okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
So me and Meg, we're doing the ride or die tag on your channel, aren't we, Meg?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I just want to know what all your favourites are.
So I want to know what yours are, but we were both saying the commitment of doing this tag is we both wanted to cheat and do like 2 products for each, but
I have
been
actually
loyal.
bought 2 for some of them.
Have you?
I might make a split-second decision
and then like
minute.
in the moment.
Yeah.
Then look down again. So then I'm going to use a bit of the Sumptuous Infinite Mascara by Estee Lauder. And this is a really nice one. It's got a really fine comb, and it kind of like the comb changes around the shade. Lift the lash. And if you do get kind of a blob mascara, it's actually easier to leave it till it's dry. It's kind of easier to move it away. If you move it when it's wet, you'll tend to kind of smear it across the face more. So if I get you to look that way and down for me, Meg. So I'm just going to go right into those inner corners. So I'm just going to take a fan brush by MAC, and we're just going to take a little bit of excess mascara off. And if you look down for me, Meg, I'm just going to make sure, because Meg's got blonde lashes, I just want to get it right to the tips. Just to make sure she's got a fully black lash, which again just makes the eyes look bigger, the lashes look bolder, and you just get a bit more impact.
Is that easy to do on yourself?
Yes, it is. I think it might feel a bit fiddly at first, but I mean, it's even if you have kind of like brown lashes like me, even my lashes aren't like perfectly black. It's quite good, and it's a really nice way to like blend false lashes together as well. So I'm gonna add some individuals in a second. And the other good thing as well is you can even use this for the bottom lashes, so you can just kind of like anywhere where you feel like you want to add a little bit extra, especially if you find it really fiddly doing your bottom lashes, you can just use something like this to do it with, and it's quite easy. Just feathering it through, and you can even like push it through so you can use it to like separate the lashes as well. So I'm going to take some individual lashes now to put onto Meg, because I think with Blake's eyes she always has like a nice, especially on the outer corner, it's always really fluttery. If you find individual lashes a bit tricky, you can always just do a half lash or cut an eyelash in half. So if you look down for me, Meg, I'm just going to kind of slot these into any gaps, and then we can just blend them in with mascara afterwards. So I'm going to do a mix of short and medium, because I think that's a nice way to make the lashes look really fluttery.
They do look a lot more natural, don't they?
And I think they're very comfortable to wear, because especially if they have like no knots on them. These ones are just the knot-free ones. They definitely feel, you don't really notice you're wearing them.
I think I always thought they were more difficult to apply, but I actually find them a lot easier.
I think once you've done it a few times, it definitely becomes easier, but it is one of those things you want to like sit and watch EastEnders and just like practice in front of the telly. And like I was saying, guys, I wanted to do a little bit of definition on the waterline, but I don't want to use black, so I'm going to use this one by Max Factor, and this one is actually the Liquid Effect Pencil in Silver Spark, which is kind of like a sort of soft grey, so if you look up for me, darling, and it's just going to work really nice with the colours we've used on Meg. So I'm going to take this along the waterline. So I'm just kind of keeping it quite close to the lashes, and you can almost like blend it in between the gaps of the lashes as well. But again, because it's grey, it's nice and soft. It's not going to close the eyes up as much, but again, you still get the drama. So I'm going to do some concealer, guys, now. I'm going to use the Clarins. This is the Instant Concealer in 01. I absolutely love this concealer. I just think it's so brightening. And again, it's lovely for kind of a red carpet look or something that's quite dressy. And I'm going to use the taper bending brush from Look Good, Feel Better. You know, yeah, this is in one of my favourites videos. It's so good. So you can see as soon as you start to add concealer, everything just brightens and it starts to have that more kind of red carpet look. And I like to use my concealer to really lift and kind of sculpt the eyes as well. So just very gently buffing backwards and forwards.
It's really soft.
It's lovely, isn't it? It just really does. It's good as well in here. It wasn't just there. It kind of fits in really, really well. So then I'm going to take one heck of a Blot by Soap and Glory. Do you like this, Meg?
I haven't tried it. I've heard so many good things.
It's one of those things I always go back to because it is just so reliable. So I'm just going to use an Art Shop brush, and I'm just going to give it a little dust over the skin. And I'm going to use more powder products on Meg as well. So I'm going to use a little bit of blush and bronzer. If you look up for me, Meg, so I'm just going to use that to set under the eyes.
That brush is insane.
It's so soft, isn't it?
Which one is that?
it's just from an art shop, so if you go to any art shops and ask for like watercolour brushes, they're just super duper soft, and they're nice because they don't kind of put loads of product on the skin, they just sort of like whisper it over the skin. Whisper it over. And then that just gives a nice base for any powder products. And then I've wanted to use this in a video for a while because you were saying this is good.
I love those.
Yeah.
I've never actually tried the Peachy one, but I have the rosy glow one.
So this is the Peachy Glow palette. This is from the Tanya Burr Cosmetics.
They're really nice.
Try not to blind you guys. Or maybe I'll do a fancy cutaway. I'm going to use the bronzer first. So I'm actually going to use more of a kind of fluffy brush. This is one by Mikasa. And with bronzer, I always like to just knock a little bit off first as well, especially because you're a little bit paler as well, Meg. I don't want to make anything look orangey. And I'm just going to kind of take it along the cheeks and a little bit into the hairline as well. So I'm just dusting a little bit off. And I'm not contouring as such, but I am just using it to give a little bit more definition to the skin. You know, with your foundation, you do tend to kind of take everything away a little bit. So it's nice just to put a little bit of that back into the skin. And I just like a little bit of bronzer on the tip of the nose as well. I find otherwise you kind of end up with everything looking a bit too separate. And I'm going to use the same brush as well actually for the blush. So I'm going to use the Peachy Tone blush now, which I would say almost has a little bit of illumination in. So you could use the highlighter as well, but I think I'm probably just going to use a bit of the blush. Just more to the, this is a really pretty colour. And it's nice because I think it complements the kind of eye tone as well. It's still quite cool. And then for lips, I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Pale Pink Lip Liner. I always go back to this. This one, and I think it's called Beige. Those two lip pencils are great, kind of universally flattering lip colours. So I'm just going to do, I'm going to kind of follow Meg's natural lip line, but just go slightly over from the top lip. If you close and smile for me, Meg, that's a good way just to check it's kind of even as well. And then I want to fill it in as well with this. I think it's a good way to see the lip shape you've created by just filling it in first. Sometimes it's harder to see if you've got the shape right when it's just a line. So then I'm going to use a bit of YSL Rouge Volupte Shine, and this is in the shade 44. So I think this is really nice because it's super comfy on the lips. And I think, you know, she does wear matte lipstick sometimes, but it feels like when I see pictures of Blake, she seems to have more of a kind of sheer lip. And this is just a lovely soft pink, and it's really complementary with the eye colour. So I'm literally just kind of tapping that on. And I'm going to use a little bit of my finger just to kind of work it into the lip a little bit more. And it sort of blends the lip pencil and the lipstick together as well really nicely. So that's the finished look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you so much, Meg.
Okay. Thank you so much for doing my makeup. I love it.
It's been so lovely having Meg here. We've both realised we are equally as chatty as each other.
We are so chatty. We've been talking the whole way through this video.
It's going to be like 2 hours of footage to edit, like the longest makeup ever. But I've loved doing it. And please don't forget to go to Meg's channel, subscribe to her lovely channel. And we've also done a video on your channel, haven't we?
We have. So we did the ride or die tag where we choose our most favourite, like ultimate favourite
desert island. Yeah, that's it. So go check out that as well. I'll pop the link in the description box below. I'd love it if you guys subscribe, and can't wait to see you soon for more videos. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.